Titan Game Day Live. It is the halftime show as the Cardinals are up 24-6 in what I'm calling a disastrous first half. I'm not sure what descriptive word you will choose to describe that first half of the
May
Titans.
not be suitable for work, so I'll keep my thoughts to myself on that.
Right. We're live here at the Mainstay in East Nashville. We're on the edge of downtown, just 2 blocks away from Nissan Stadium. A to Z Sports Titan Game Day Live. Here, our halftime show is live. Thanks to our sponsors here at the Mainstay. Also, Mill Creek Beer. If you need a beer right now, a lot of Titans fans probably need a beer here at the Mainstay. You get Mill Creek Brewery 2-for-1s during Titans games. Also, thank you to Nashville Power Sports and BetMGM. We'll talk about the live line here, Zach, a little bit later on with BetMGM. But my goodness, 24-6, an extra point, a field goal missed at the end. The Cardinals make it interesting. But it's just been an absolute disaster from every point of the half for the Titans. No offensive flow. Defense still can't stop DeAndre Hopkins. Derrick Henry has 9 carries for 8 yards and was stopped twice on the goal line. Your initial thoughts here?
Well, you have to give credit where credit is due. The Arizona Cardinals have come into Nashville and have executed for the first 2 quarters exactly how they wanted. They contained Derrick Henry, as you referenced, but I think the outlier of the game is the stars for the Cardinals are outshining what we've been prepared for all training camp and all offseason that the Titans were going to come out and do. Chandler Jones looks unbeatable at times.
Unblockable,
right?
For sure by Taylor Lewan.
Right? And Lewan is having a rough start. You have Kyler Murray that is making college-like plays, right? Running around and doing the thing that won him the Heisman Trophy, won him the Rookie of the Year a couple of years ago. And then you have DeAndre Hopkins, who I've always said is the best wide receiver in the NFL. You've heard me say that. He is showing and backing my statement up this offseason on why he's the best. He's making the secondary look putrid. And Austin, Arizona's been pretty undisciplined too. They've had a lot of penalties. They've put themselves behind the sticks, and somehow they are dominating the first 2 quarters of play.
Yeah, just to read a couple stats, you bring up the penalties from Arizona. They currently have overall 6 penalties for 44 yards. The Titans have 4 for 45. Jackrabbit Jenkins, who I'm starting to think he needs to earn the nickname Jackrabbit, not to be given it, because he's been awful. He's given up 2 touchdowns. DeAndre Hopkins, also a really bad face mask call against him that helped the Titans, helped the Cardinals score their last touchdown. But passing yards, Arizona has 199 to the Titans 91. Rushing yards, the Cardinals have 61 to the Titans 25. A.J. Brown has as many catches as he does tackles. A.J. Brown had the last tackle right before half there. That's not good. Julio Jones, more stats, has 2 drops. 1 in the end zone. The Titans
that he was not ready for.
He was not ready for it, but it hit him in his hands, and he's a Hall of Fame guy, right?
Got to catch it.
Got to catch the ball. And then one right there before the half that really irked me because Julio Jones had multiple opportunities to catch that one pass. It hit the turf, and what do? Me to the sideline and to Tannehill. We all know, everybody in that stadium watching that game, no, you should have had that. Catch it. I don't want to hear my bad. Catch the ball. It was your second drop of the game. Really, really poor debut for Julio Jones because he started off his debut with an unsportsmanlike penalty on himself that cost the Titans the opportunity of the first down.
All right, we've talked a lot about how well the Arizona Cardinals have played, how poorly the Tennessee Titans on offense and Jackrabbit Jenkins and some missed tackles have played. Elephant in the room. What the hell's going on with this kicker?
It's the same. I mean, what did you expect? Like, what you sign a kicker midweek because Sam Ficken. I don't know what happened to Sam Ficken.
Well, no, we'll never know probably.
But like, did he like pull his groin like in practice, like after the last playoff game because it wasn't, or preseason game because it wasn't a deal up until this past week, and it was really inexcusable.
There's 4 points,
and 4 points are very important right now.
Oh no, 4 points in the NFL win or lose you the game, and in this sense, it could prevent you from getting back into the game. We saw it Thursday night in the opener. Bucks and the Cowboys. Greg Zuerlein, 4 points were left on the board. You could really say 7, but one was a 60-yard attempt. 4 points were held on the board. What was the score? That was the difference. You cannot do this. And the Titans and Mike Vrabel continue to turn a blind eye to one of, if no most, the very most important position on the team in the NFL, and that's getting 3 points when you can.
Yeah, but I don't think this kicking situation is all that similar to the previous kicking issues, because the Titans at this point this preseason have had 2 kickers. Both have gotten hurt. Tucker McCann got hurt in Atlanta on a cheap shot after he drilled a field goal, and then Sam Ficken looked really good. Sam Ficken was proven. He had really good training camp and preseason performances, and then he just has a mysterious groin injury. So these are not like ignoring the kicking position. They had 2 competent, pretty solid guys that both unfortunately got hurt.
Well, they don't have Ryan Suckup, who won a game on Thursday night.
Well, what they don't – well, Zach –
that's what they did have.
They're down by 18. Like, sure, 4 points is big, but they're down by 18 because the
4 points is the difference between a 3-possession game and a 2-possession game, Austin. Don't downplay that.
Okay, I'll give you another number. 3. That's the amount of times that Ryan Tannehill has been sacked today. Twice. Turnstile Taylor Lewan. Just came up with that off the top of my head because that works pretty well right now coming off his ACL. And then the sack fumble that allowed the Cardinals to get up 10-0. Pretty awful offensive line play. Todd Downing doesn't look like Arthur Smith, and the Titans are really struggling to get anything consistent put together.
All right, we've put a lot out there, right? We've gotten a little bit of frustration out as the Titans trail 24-6 in the home opener. Unfortunately, they don't get the ball to start the third quarter.
No.
What do they have to do to get back into this football game and within grasp? So I'll give you a
striking distance.
I'll give you a comparison. They ended up losing this game due to the kicker, but last year against the Pittsburgh Steelers, they had a very similar first half. And Ryan Tannehill and A.J. Brown in that offense, they fought back in the third and fourth quarter to at least have an opportunity to tie the game and go to overtime. Now, we all know Stephen Gostkowski missed that field goal. The Steelers won that football game. Austin, I'll ask you, and I'll just ask the chat before we get to our official question, a little side question. What do the Titans need to do to get back into this game?
Get your hands on Kyler Murray, which, I mean, that sounds easy. I don't think they can, though. Like, that's what they have to do. But they haven't stopped Kyler Murray whenever he's wanted to improvise. And what did I say? My key to the Titans winning this game was to contain Kyler, and they can't do it. He's making the video game type plays. Everybody's played Madden against that kid when you're growing up who just runs around on every play and finds a receiver 10 seconds after he snapped the ball. That's what Kyler Murray did on 3rd and 10. The Titans have not been able to stop them. They scored on back-to-back touchdown possessions, and then they ran out of time at the end, and they would have had time. They would have scored, I feel like. That's how confident I am in the Cardinals offense right now. That's what they have to do. I just don't see them doing it.
So a lot of comments coming in on our live stream as we stream live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and on Twitch as we broadcast from the mainstay. A lot of things, and I agree with this. KC mentions it. Titans for Life on Twitter mentions it. A turnover. They need a shift of momentum. We saw, and it didn't end up being a touchdown because they held him to a field goal, but that Chandler Jones sack fumble on Ryan Tannehill swung the momentum towards the Arizona Cardinals.
No doubt.
They're going to have something similar. I fully expect A.J. Brown and Julio Jones to play better in the second half. The problem is you're down too many points. You're going to be playing far catch-up,
well, and you're down 18 points right now, and the Cardinals get the ball to start the third quarter. It's all about you have to get – if you give up points on the opening drive of the third quarter, field goal or a touchdown, I think you're in a really tough spot to mount the comeback.
And look, we got a ballsy play by head coach Mike Vrabel to go for that on 4th down, the fake punt that ended up extending a drive. That was really early on in the game. We do know that Mike Vrabel notoriously is a very aggressive head coach. I wouldn't be surprised if you see more trickeration like that flea flicker and some maybe desperate coaching decisions to get back into this game.
It's pretty bad. Like this is the worst season opener I think since that Dolphins 7-hour game that was really, really bad for you in 2018. So 3 years ago, this one's really bad, especially because the expectations on this team.
Well, they have the players, they have the horses, but they were stalled out in the first quarter. I mean, obsolete. When A.J. Brown and Julio Jones don't have a target and Derrick Henry can't get going.
Well, Amani Hooker was the leading receiver after the first quarter. That tells you everything you need to know about the Titans offense. So let's ask the question, what is your confidence level in the Titans winning this game down 24-6? What is your confidence level in the Titans winning this game down 24-6, 1 through 10? 10 being you think they got it, which I don't think we're going to have many 10s. 1 being absolutely no way they're going to come back and win this. Zach, I'll let you. We got an 8 from the crowd here at the mainstay.
There's hope. Hope is alive.
8 might be the highest number we get.
We got a believer.
What's the chat say, Zach?
A lot of low numbers.
Yeah.
Jeffrey's going with 2, 1, 3, 3, 1, 1, 1. We have a 5 coming in from Max. Still have not reached that 8 yet. 2, 4, a lot of low numbers. And I think it's justifiably so. I mean, they're down by 3 scores. Their offense has not looked in sync. And I think here's the biggest thing. The Arizona Cardinals have taken away the Titans' best player, which is Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry can win you games, close out games, but it is literally unacceptable for your best player to have the stat line that he does. He's not even the leading rusher behind Ryan Tannehill, who's got a rushing touchdown. 9 carries, 8 yards, long as 7. Inexcusable. So I think it has to be low. I think right now, confidence of winning this game, I'm probably at a 2.5.
So, Zach, we talked about, what was that, Friday, about how Dak could not close it out and left the door open for Brady, right? And we talked about the whole game. That whole show was about, can Ryan Tannehill win you a game in the second half when Derrick Henry is stopped? I mean, they're down 18. I don't expect them to win this game.
It's twofold, Austin, to that point. Tannehill has to do enough, and Kyler Murray's play has to regress.
Well, yes, but I do think, do the Cardinals change their game plan and start running the ball because they're up so much? If the Cardinals do start running the ball, I think that gives the Titans a chance. I don't expect the Titans or the Cardinals to start running the ball, so I expect the Titans to drop this game. So out of 10, I'm at a 2. It's pretty low, Zach. I do not feel good about how this has gone. So, and a lot of questions that we can talk. If the Titans lose this game by double digits, there's a lot of question marks that we're going to have for the post-game show and for this upcoming week before going into Seattle.
A lot of doubts going into this season about what Kyler Murray would be. So far, very, very impressive with his play.
Yeah, no doubt. All right, thanks to all of our sponsors here live at the Mainstay, Titan Game Day Live. Also 2-for-1 draft Mill Creek beers here at the Mainstay. We'll be there in Nolensville next week for our away games at Mill Creek and Nolensville. Thanks again to NashvillePowersports.com and BetMGM. The Titans are a 13.5-point underdog at halftime on the BetMGM app. We'll see you guys right here for postgame. Enjoy the second half.